This is the European Men's Artistic Gymnastics Championships Munich 2022 Qualification Subdivision 2. Willkommen bei den European Championships Geräte und Qualifikation der Männer Subdivision 2. Heißen wir unsere Turner sehr herzlich willkommen.
Welcome back to the Olympia Halle in Munich and the start of the second subdivision in the men's all-around final and team and apparatus qualification.
Starting on floor. Herzlich willkommen.
Lots of teams coming up for your entertainment, starting with Belgium. Well, Takumi Onoshima has only just arrived at these championships. He's coming for the injured Victor Martinez. So Belgium have had to readjust with their all-around champion having to pull out due to injury in training. They'll start on the floor along with France. Something of an unfamiliar look to much of this French team, though if you've been watching events like the Mediterranean Games, you'll know them, and watching World Cups, you'll know people like Benjamin Osberger.
Starting on Pomeros, beginnen am Pauschenpferd.
Two teams will start on the pommel horse. One of them is Austria. Alexander Bender, Manuel Arnold and Ashkar Matiev are the all-arounders there. We'll see Vincent Herk performing later on the still rings. And Austria will have on their travels with them the Georgian team. Young team, the Georgians, the oldest, Saba Abesadze, 24-year-old. They have a teenager in Veliko Duduchava in their ranks. Now the Dutch will begin on the still rings. Again, a sense of a team in transition, some new names coming through, two 19-year-olds. Jordi Hagenaar and Martin de Veer, both at 19. Oldest member of the team is Laurent de Monk. Three 19-year-olds actually. Yas Ramsahai also still 19. And Finland will be alongside them starting on the rings. They'll be joined later by Emil Saravua, the World Championship bronze medalist on floor and the reigning European Games floor champion. Now Turkey, who've had some injuries to contend with and some changes to their squad, but some well-known names like him and him and him. Three big contenders, joined by newer names in Kerem Şener and Mehmet Kosak. They'll start on vault along with the Lithuanian team.
Herzlich willkommen, Litauen. Welcome, Lithuania.
Titas Kuzmickas, Ernestas Lashkinas, Thomas Kasajirovas und Robert Borgal.
This is a particularly lovely moment for the brothers Kuzmickas, Thomas and Titus, competing together. 18-year-old Titus joins his much older sibling. Group 5 and Romania, they'll begin on the parallel bars. On the subject of brothers, the Bertonettes. Andre Muntean, 29-year-old, very experienced member of the Romanian team. Portugal have had unprecedented success lately. They made the team final at the Mediterranean Games. First time they ever sent a men's team to the competition. Here they are. They've been working on their execution lately. They've been working on their team cohesion, as evident from the fact they thought this one through, and they're entitled to celebrate this moment. Welcome Portugal, a full men's team to the European Championships. Their leading figure is Jose Nogueira. And we have a couple of Nordic nations in Group 6. Rivals, but they journey together today, starting on the horizontal bar. First of all, Sweden. Make it look like it's a stroll in the park. Swedish team won the gold at the Nordic Championships. And that was their own little version of the free system there in introduction. Norway, the last team. They boast the reigning Nordic all-around champion. Sofus Hegemsnes, the reigning Nordic all-around champion. The team took silver behind Sweden. So then, just the 12 teams to scrutinise in this session. Great to have your company. I'm Ollie Hogben, and sitting alongside me, as ever, is Blythe Lawrence. Blythe, it's about more, isn't it, than just making the European Championship final for all of these teams. There's another big prize at stake.
You are absolutely right, Ollie. The top 13 teams from today's competition advance to the World Championships in Liverpool in October. So there is much to play for.
Yes, it is one of a number of things that we're going to be looking at.
For the individuals as well, those who are not on the top 13 teams coming out of today's competition, the top 23 in the all-around will also qualify to the World Championships.
We have apparatus qualifications taking place. Oh, and by the way, this is also the men's all-around final. Not qualification, this is the all-around final. So Belgium begin, and the first gymnast to go is the last to arrive, Takumi Onoshima, who was called in as a late replacement for Victor Martinez, the all-around bronze medalist at May's National Championships. I mean, the poor young man has had so little time to get ready for this, but I suppose if you are a gymnast on standby, you know that this could happen.
He wrote it himself. He said duty calls. He posted a picture of the airplane that is taking him to Munich yesterday, and yeah, Victor Martinez, the Belgian national champion, really bad luck for him. He was here, he was training, he had some issues with his back and unfortunately has had to withdraw.
Good that they managed to get him on a plane. There was talk of Takumi Onoshima having to get there by car at one point. So the still rings will be the starting point of the third group. That's the Dutch and Finland. Before that, we just saw Austria and Georgia, who will start on the pommel horse. Turkey will start on vault.
And Adam Asil, who we just saw a glimpse of, he is from the 2021 European Championships, the top performer in qualification in the all-around, who is here. He has had a year and an Olympic experience, and as far as the all-around picture is concerned, he might be a major player.
Yes, we're going to keep a very close eye on Adam Asil, certainly. Well, hope you're really looking forward to this now. We've set the scene, now it's time for the gymnasts to do what they do best, which is deliver an exemplary standard. Germaine Grunberg is the first to go. And Grunberg was the silver medalist at the Dutch National Championships in the all-around competition.
Very early in his life, he was marked out for greatness, and he has trained for this occasion for the last decade, much of it.
Takes a big step back as he lands. Germaine Grunberg, European Championship debut for him. Did well to keep that to just a single, albeit big step backwards.
It's always good to see that the gymnast has quite a lot of energy at the end of a still rings routine. It demands so much in upper body strength. Double twisting, double tuck, shoulders a bit far back. That necessitates the large step backwards, and since that step is more than the width of his shoulders, that will lose him 0.5 of a point, but he did well to stay on his feet.
Now to Ferhat Alujan, vaulting for Turkey. Oh, that's a good start.
That's a very good start for the Turkish men. He is quite distinguished on this apparatus, even though he's better known for parallel bars. Arujan, Kasamatsu, 1.5 twists, great landing, great in the air as well.
A vault silver medalist at the Youth Olympic Games in 2010 for Ferhat Alujan. Positively a lifetime ago in terms of his career. We'll talk more about the Turkish gentlemen later. They've been doing so much gymnastics lately. Now we're having a look at the horizontal bar and Joachim Lienbe of Sweden. Took a silver on this piece at the National Championships recently. That's a nice secure beginning for Sweden. What a lovely, stylish and elegant dismount from Joachim Lienbe. Second time at the European Championships.
To begin this routine, he does his release skill, the Yamawaki. Note that his body is quite piked as he flies over the bar. The judges will apply a significant deduction for that. However, this full twisting double layout dismount was just impeccable.
12.866 for Germaine Grunberg. First European Championships performance for him. We'll keep you updated on Turkey on vault. It's going to be a very interesting rotation for them. They've got some big performers there. Certainly starting well with Arujan's 14.433, 12.133 the score for Joachim Lienbe. Romania are over on the parallel bars. And that is where we will remain. First chance for us to take a look at this Romanian team. Gabriel Bertonette, 20-year-old.
He is seen as one of the leaders of the Romanian men's generation coming up. exceptional on vault. Beautiful skill that, the bobsar. Flying from one end of the parallel bars to the other. And at an earlier iteration called the Tippelt.
Little stagger back as he lands, but much promise in the work of Gabriele Bertonette. Here with his twin brother Robert.
Parallel bars has long been one of the Romanian men's better events. Has really nice skills in this routine, demonstrating flight. And a lot of smoothness in the delivery. It's a start that could serve Romania very well.
Somebody that many expect to be a real contender in this competition is Adam Asil of Turkey.
There's no question that he has the talent. Where the question lies is whether he has the consistency.
And he's had some rotten luck with injuries in European Championship competition. The last two for him have been derailed by injury. First vault. My, what amplitude! That was a sensational start from Adam Asil.
Absolutely wonderful. That was what we call a piked Dragulescu. Handspring double front, half out in the pike position. Actually named for Risi Guang, one of the very greats on this apparatus. And the way that he does it, he seems well on his way to being a great on this apparatus as well.
And most significantly, that pike position, the addition of 4/10 of difficulty.
Does it beautifully too. Everything from the toe point, the straight legs, and having enough amplitude to be able to open out his body and spot the landing. Exceptional, really.
Dragulescu a 5.6 difficulty vault with a Risi Guang a 6 difficulty. And the score for Adam Asil has just been confirmed in the stadium as 15.2. You might have heard that. That's the team score. That will do nicely for Turkey. 9.2 execution. Second vault. Oh my words, Adam Asil in terms of the vault final may find himself in a spot of bother. Now, team and all around, he's fine.
Certainly. But this second vault has given him problems in the past, and for just that reason, actually. He gets so much height and he is so powerful, but he has trouble controlling his backward momentum when he goes for the landing.
13.533 for Gabriele Bertonette. Now, we focus on Belgium for the first time in this competition. Competing on the floor, they're going in the Olympic order, as it's often called, of apparatus. Luca van den Kabus. Problematic first landing.
It looked like he was going for the stick, and why not? But sometimes when you do that, you leave yourself very little margin for error.
Fifth time that we've seen Luca van den Kabus at European Championships.
1.5 twist to front tuck with a full twist. And triple full sticks the dismount.
Very nice final tumbling pass to the delight, evidently, of Luca van den Kebus of Belgium.
He looked so aggressive at the beginning of this routine. This, the end, the triple full. Well done.
Reminder of Adam Assil on vault. Second vault, a score of 13.5. Now, in terms of the qualification standings for the vault competition, he's still right up there. Indeed, the top performer we've seen so far. What about Ahmed Under? His teammate will also be vaulting twice. That's another nice vault, isn't it?
He opens up with his twisting vault, the Kasamatsu 1.5, or if you like, a Sukahara with 2.5 twists. Very nice indeed. Clean, direct, just with the small step on the landing.
Andre Muntian, parallel bars silver medalist at the Youth Olympic Games in 2010.
Lovely lightness to his work, the 1-bar handstand. However, hesitation on the Healy out. He does that Healy because it makes the 1-bar handstand even more difficult, and he gets a difficulty upgrade for that. However, he is now going to take some execution deductions as a result of trying to go after that difficulty. So much to consider when gymnasts construct these routines.
Andre Muntean, the veteran performer from Romania. He did win a silver medal on the parallel bars at the Copa World Challenge Cup. It's part of the regular calendar of gymnastics events not so long ago.
This is his rendition of the Bavsar. Lovely skill to look at.
He's been doing very nice work on parallel bars for a long time now, Andre Muntean. He scores 14.133. We'll give you the apparatus qualification picture at the end of the subdivision, but that is the second best we've seen. 12.5 for Luca van den Kebus. So that brings us to the end of the first half of the first rotation. Split warm-up system in operation. A switch over now to look at France, to look at Georgia, Finland, Lithuania, Portugal and Norway. Just some notes on other things that have happened already in this first half of the rotation. Ahmed Under for his second vault, 13.5. 8.3 for execution, so his execution, or his total score I should say, a 14.016. Lithuanian gymnasts are warming up. That was Anestas Liaskinas, third time at the European Championships for him. The Georgians on the pommel horse. So Turkey's scores from a team perspective very encouraging. 14.433 from Arujan, 14.533 from Under, and 15.2 from Adam Assil.
Turkey totally off to the races so far in this competition. Of course, it is very early, but looking at the composition of their team, it's very good because it is anchored by 3 veterans in Arajan Under and Adam Asil, and then they have 2 impact newcomers. And though we have yet to see them do gymnastics, what we have seen has been very, very strong, particularly from Adam Asil.
The Turkish team have done just about more gymnastics than anybody of late. They've had the Mediterranean Games. They've just literally, a matter of days ago, finished the apparatus finals at the Islamic Solidarity Games in their home country. French gymnasts also involved in the Mediterranean Games. Portuguese gymnasts here involved in the Mediterranean Games. We have got coming up later on gymnasts from Great Britain who were involved in the Commonwealth Games. But the Turkish gymnasts have really been extraordinarily busy. And that can be a great thing. They've been winning a lot. They've just won 2 team competitions at the Mediterranean Games and the Islamic Solidarity Games. They're in buoyant form, but with it obviously comes the fatigue.
And this is a long competition. 6 rotations today, and then in the days to come, the finals. Anything feels possible. Anything could happen.
We'll have a look now at Jakob Karlsson of Norway on the horizontal bar. Won a silver medal on this piece at the National Championships in June. Many of you will remember him from the Youth Olympic Games in Argentina, where he was a vault bronze medalist.
Really fluid swing. A nice line to his swing as well, capped off by excellent toe point. Dismount full twisting double layout.
Very strong start from Jakob Karlsson of Norway. Second time at the Senior European Championships for him. One of the gymnasts that trains at the Oslo Turnforening Club, like most of the national team.
Good body position on his release skill, the Yamawaki. And a great amount of flair on his one-arm giant. It's a routine without a great amount of difficulty, but didn't he perform it beautifully?
It's the first chance we've had to look at the Lithuanian team as they are taking to the vaults. Anestas Liaskinas, 25-year-old, at his 3rd European Championships.
Unfortunate, hands down on the Kasamatsu with a full twist. We talk an awful lot about the push the gymnast gets off the table. Colloquially, it's referred to as block. And if you don't get a really good block through your shoulders, it's hard to get the amplitude that sets you up in the air to get around all the twisting that you need to do and really go out for a very good landing.
12.6, the score for Karlsson. Now Finland starting their campaign on the still rings. Oskar Kirmes, gymnast about to take to the apparatus. "26-year-old. He was in the all-around final at the European Championships of 2019.
Going to demonstrate a variety of strength holds. The two things that are most important on the still rings with those holds are the position. Is it correct? And does he hold it for a full 2 seconds when he does them? Very nice control in the front giant. Two seconds, an important metric on the still rings. Not only do the judges want the strength holds to be 2 seconds each, they don't want long pauses with the gymnast in handstand gathering strength before going into another move. 1.5 twisting double tuck. Unfortunately, a really large lunge to the side and off the mat. That will cost him 0.5 of a point in and of itself. But the interior of the routine was well done. On this iron cross, he is potentially a bit too high. The shoulders really should be in line with the rings.
Very influential gymnast in the Finnish team, Oskar Kirmes. He was the first man for 44 years to make the Olympics back in 2016. His brother Robert is also in the team. 4 of the teams out on the competition floor at the moment have got brothers in them. 12.633, the vaulting score for Anistas Liaskinas. Back to the horizontal bar, and Harald Vibjerg, young Norwegian from Fredrikstad.
Using several different, very intricate grips, requires a great amount of shoulder flexibility as he swings through inverted giants and endo.
Norway's Harald Vibjerg, an undergraduate in law at the Oslo Metropolitan University, so being called to the bar will be a regular feature of his life. Had a very good Nordic Championships where he won the vault title. Huge congratulations to him. .7, the score on the still rings for Oskar Kirmes. 4.6 difficulty score. Cheering on his teammate Elias Koski, who's the next to go. Meanwhile, we are going over to the floor. And the French team. Well, very interesting, this somewhat new look French team, it's safe to say. Leo Saladino, 20-year-old. We might come back to him in a moment, hopefully we will do. And here he is, part of the French team that took a bronze at the Mediterranean Games.
Starts off with a front 2.5 twist, known as a Randy. And once again, very efficient in the twisting skills. Front layout, full twist to immediate punch double front in the tuck position. Lovely flare sequence as well through handstand. Double twisting, double tuck. Very impressive difficulty so far. And triple twist to end.
Leo Saladino of France with an imposing start in this team competition. Just his second European Championships. He's got promise.
Very promising indeed. If there is one thing that he might want to work on in his gym, it is the extension in his legs when he twists. You notice they are slightly bent. That does give away some execution deductions.
12.566 for Harold Vibje. Norway will finish on the parallel bars. Representing Georgia, Ioane Jimshelishvili, 22-year-old from the ancient city of Tbilisi. Very much a crossroads point in Europe and Asia as he crisscrosses the pommel halls to start his campaign.
Moving with great purpose so far, and relative ease as well.
And that is the classic demonstration of how quickly a pommel horse routine can change. You're absolutely right. I mean, he was moving with such confidence, just legs crossing over momentarily.
One movement completely stops your momentum on this apparatus. Not only is there the fall, there is what happened on the circle before with him brushing the pommels with his body. He'll lose half a point for that as well. So a costly sequence.
Almost agonizingly, we see the glimpses of what this good young gymnast can do. Ioane Jimshelishvili. Well, we've just had a very fine performance on the horizontal bar. Might update you on that in a little while. We'll come back to it. In fact, here it is. You can't miss it, and you'll see why. It's Sophus Hegemsnes.
Opens up with a clean Yamawaki. And a Liukin. Beautiful skill. A layout catch-up with a full twist. Adds on a layout catch-up for good measure, and that hop full. Same skill with 1.5 turns.
We've said that the horizontal bar final is up for grabs, those places in there. And what about this from the reigning Nordic horizontal bar champion?
It's wide open. He's taking advantage. Double twisting, double layout. Great landing.
And a great routine overall from Sophus Hegemsnes of Norway. The reward for that, a mighty number, 13.666. Top score that we've seen on the piece, going marginally ahead of Jordan Alexandrov. He's ahead of Tin Serbic. He's ahead of Alexander Miakinin.
And Serbic and Miakinin were two that we were looking to in the first subdivision to post big scores. Both of them had problems.
Gymnast who does some very nice work on the floor. Young Frenchman called Benjamin Osberger. He won the World Cup title on floor in Varna. Super display.
Just like we saw from his teammate, opens up with the Randy, the front 2.5. Double twisting, double tuck. As you said, Ollie, he was at the World Cups earlier this spring. Made a tremendous impression. Beautiful, quick Vendeswings.
He's from such a wonderful gymnastics family. His grandfather, Andre, was the club president of where he trains. His father, Thierry, was also a gymnast, and Osberger has said he wants to become a coach, and move into the administration of the sport. Not just yet, though. Let's keep enjoying his work for the time being.
Triple full to end. Excellent routine.
That really is lovely from Benjamin Osberger of France. It's such a nice thing when a gymnast takes World Cup performances and puts them onto a big stage like the European Championships.
He looks very prepared for this moment in Munich. One thing that was really impressive in his performances on the World Cup circuit, and here's the lightness with which he lands, but also with how he deals with controversy. He very easily could have gone out over the line on that tumbling pass, and he didn't let it happen.
13.366 before that for Leo Saladino. We're drawing to a close in this first of 6 rotations. Just waiting for this final score to come in for Benjamin Osberger. .666 before that for Johan Jimshelishvili. Once again, I look back at this very aesthetically pleasing performance.
It's a great line to his twisting. He's straight up and down. The legs don't cross in the air. The toe point is good.
The score is good too. 13.866. Third best we've seen. A 10th below Ireland's Dom Cunningham, with Artem Dolgopiat, as expected, the strongest performer in qualification. Now we're looking at the situation as though all gymnasts were in front of us competing, and it is Turkey 1 and 2 in the all-around competition, with them starting on vault. Takumi Onoshima of Belgium with a very good beginning as well. 13.866 on floor. Same score as Osberger. We look down the order. David Huddleston is an important marker for you because he's the gymnast who topped the first subdivision in terms of all-around performance, with Ireland's Dom Cunningham the second strongest performer. So where David Huddleston is in the all-around rankings is going to be very interesting to keep an eye on. And the same for Dom Cunningham, with the caveat that Cunningham finished very well. So for the second rotation, Belgium make their way over to Pommelhorst. We're looking at the floor exercise at the moment, which is where we have the gymnasts from Norway and Sweden, respectively. Touch warm-up completed. Waiting to go is Joachim Lienbeek. He did ever so well at the Nordic Championships last month, where he won the all-around bronze medal along with that team title. It's a real step up from the Swedish national championships, where he actually missed out on an all-around medal by 1 place.
The ever-popular twisting side pass to begin. This one a 1.5 twist compared to the 2.5 that we saw from the 2 Frenchmen. Steady 2.5 twist to front layout. his press handstand, one of the requirements on men's floor. And sticks the triple full to end.
There really is a lot to like, isn't there, about this young gymnast from Slotstaden, Joachim Lienbe. Just his second European Championships. He's never competed at World Championship level. And all of these gymnasts, if their team doesn't get into the top 13, are vying for an individual qualification spot. He's an all-arounder.
This routine was a very good example of a gymnast going for high execution and eschewing the more complicated difficulty that he might be working in his gym at home.
That's a very important point you make, actually. We'll come back to it about difficulty that's being worked on at home. Martin de Veer, young man from Netherlands, a 19-year-old.
Very tidy Kasamatsu full vault. Like the French, the Dutch have brought a rather new, untested young team, and they do gorgeous gymnastics. That was very nice to look at.
14.1 the score for Martin de Veer. Yes, as you were mentioning, and it's always important to say, isn't it, that gymnasts very often are working on things in the training gym that they're not quite ready to bring to competition. So it may well be that a lot of these athletes have got more in the locker. 13.233 is the score for Lienbe. But they're choosing, as you say, to go for the execution here until they're fully ready to compete that skill.
Certainly, and that's very smart of them. And from a psychological standpoint, much better to hit a routine, feel great about it, and let that carry you through the rest of your competition than to do something you might not be ready to do and to have a fall.
Gabriele Bertonette on the horizontal bar.
Coach standing in very close while he executes these endos. Absolutely no deduction for that, but obviously it helps him. Full twisting double layout. And
yes.
Bam!
Absolutely stuck by Gabriele Bertonette, who started with a 13.533 on the parallel bars. He won a medal on horizontal bar at the National Championships in September. It's going to be very interesting to see him on vault later, where he was a junior world champion in 2019.
It's a very cleverly constructed horizontal bar routine. Right at the top of the show, he gets his Yamawaki, the release move, out of the way, and then the rest is really intricate shoulder flexibility work, the stalders, the endos, and then he dismounts with this beautiful full twisting double layout to a tremendous landing.
Turkey are competing on the parallel bars, where they know a thing or two. Adam Asil, the leader in all-around gymnastics. After the first rotation, it's a final, not a qualification for the men. 12.833. Meanwhile for Bertonette. But back to Adam Asil. Gymnast who has just won back-to-back all-around titles at multi-sport games, Mediterranean Games and Islamic Solidarity Games.
And provided that he continues to do what he is capable of here, someone who will certainly be in the conversation for the all-around podium. He's such a strong, powerful gymnast. but parallel bars is about precision and control just as much as strength. Uprise, double front.
That's a very nice looking routine from Adam Asil, the 23-year-old born in Alexandria in Egypt, whose gymnastics career has taken off since he's moved to Turkey.
Intricate and difficult mount, clear hip circle with quarter turn. This was terrific. And when you think about the quality of Turkish parallel bars and the routines that will follow this, it just makes it more impressive.
Yes, they have a World Championship medalist and an Olympic medalist to come on the parallel bars. Jermaine Grunberg. That's a powerful vault, and it was actually Yas Ramsahai. Apologies, wrong name graphic there. We have confirmation of the 13.8 before for Jermaine Grunberg.
This well done too, the Rocher or the handspring double front tuck.
14.133 the score for Adam Asil. He's made a good start. First third of his competition has gone well, very well. Now we have specialists here, not just going for all-around glory, but for single apparatus glory. Here's one of the finest on the still rings. The Austrian Vinzenz Herk, European Championship silver medalist in 2020, the first Austrian medal since Hans Sauter won pommel horse bronze in 1955.
His personal objective will certainly be a place in the rings final. Clearly one of the best in Europe for nearly the last decade. Excellent Jonathan Yamawaki sequence, ending in a Maltese cross. Far more difficulty than most of the competitors that we have seen so far today.
One of the best shoulder presentations we've seen as well. Beautiful line. And he sticks that a treat. The Austrian team roaring him on. Aspiring to another European Championship final is Vinzenz Herk of Austria.
And aspiring to a World Championship qualification is the Austrian team. They made it very clear. They stated they want to finish in 13th place.
And they need, don't they, the big specialist scores like this.
They absolutely needed a hit routine from him, and he has delivered. And how?
He's a young man who has had great difficulties since coming through from junior level. A lot of injury disruptions since he was the junior European champion in 2014. Now to Takumi Onoshima, who had a very good start on floor.
It's always a good sign when the gymnast makes it look easy. On the Vendesving on the pommel there, he had a leg separation, but it doesn't seem to have affected him. Once again, leg separation there, also on the Vendesving, but up through the handstand pirouette and down. He is through.
He really minimized the deductions, was in danger of coming off, clamped down on the leg separation so impressively. Takumi Onoshima. His mother is Japanese. He's talked about loving the ease and elegance of Japanese men's gymnastics and wanting that to be part of his work. Now, what about Vinzenz Herk? We'll bring you that number in a moment, but we expect it to be very big. Well, if you're just joining the action, this is subdivision 2 and rotation number 2 of the men's competition. Now we're heading to the parallel bars, where the Turkish team have aspirations and where they have individual goals too. Ferhat Arujan, the Olympic bronze medalist in Tokyo and 2 times a European champion. One of the best in the world on this piece.
And with this first element, he shows you why. Control and fluidity and extreme difficulty. Even when he's a little bit off, as he was on that handstand on one rail, he is able to get it back together, tighten up his body, and even do the Healy turn out, giving himself more difficulty. Smooth Makuts. And another Healy. Tremendous control.
You would not think that the Turkish men had competed at 2 multi-sport games this summer. They look like they've come here from a spa break. They are really looking fresh. It's extraordinary.
They look like they're in their 5th year.
And maybe that is because of those great multi-sport games triumphs. They must be tired, but they're confident.
This dismount was incredible. The way that he found the ground.
Yes, this will likely yield a strong score from the judges for Ferhat Arujan. We'll give you an update on what it means for Turkey in a moment. Oh, now then, 14.866 for Vincent Herk, the strongest number we've seen on the still rings so far. By a long way, too. Got some real ring specialists still to come. I think Daniel Fox of Ireland will be perfectly happy with that one going above him. If you weren't watching the first subdivision, well done to Daniel Fox, the comeback story. That is not Takumi Onoshima, but he scored 11.166. Well, the score you may have heard has just come through in the arena. It is 14.7 for Ferhat Arujan, 6.5 for difficulty. Best score so far on parallel bars, with his teammate before that, Ahmed Under, producing a 14.666. The other score that will count is Adam Asil's 14.133. So all told, very good for Turkey so far. And from an individual perspective for Adam Asil. We're at the halfway mark of rotation number 2. Isn't that a lovely shot there? It just illustrates how much is going on gymnastically all at the same time. It's just something for everyone to enjoy in the crowd. And we're doing our utmost to bring you as many of these key routines as possible.
And a shot like that, it harks back to the days of the German gymnasium when people did gymnastics in the open air.
And although not in the open air, this space has had a fair few fantastic things happen over the years. We'll talk more about the Olympiahalle in due course, but we now go to the French team and Cameron Lee Bernard on pommel horse.
Clean scissor to handstand to start things off. You want to have your legs at shoulder height when you scissor and then press up to the handstand. He certainly fulfills that requirement.
He's from a very regarded club, Cameron Lee Bernard, the La Sotte-Villers club in the Rouen area. And it's great to see him here, Cameron Lee Bernard, after a nasty rupture of his Achilles in November of 2020. A long road to recovery. Well, an opportunity for us to celebrate, and I think we all should celebrate the presence of the Portuguese men's team here. And Felipe Almeida, silver medalist on this piece at the National Championships. Well done to Portugal for what they did at the Mediterranean Games, sending a full men's team for the first time.
They finished 7th in the team competition at the Mediterranean Games, a result they were delighted with.
And 3 of the gymnasts set personal best scores as well, which was terrific.
The team is young, they are fresh. Words that could be used to describe this work on horizontal bar. Tremendous form. Full twisting double layout, flares it out at the end, just for style points.
It's not the first time we've seen him at the European Championships, but it's the first time we've seen him perform the horizontal bar at this level, and let's hope to see it more. Felipe Almeida.
Very nice amplitude and counter rotation on his cacha. And here we have another gymnast who just does things with a lot of flair. Very stylish. You notice things like his toe point.
He's got a ballet dancer's foot, hasn't he?
He does. A ballet dancer's swing.
Yes, absolutely.
Can we say that?
Certainly. Well, everywhere we look in this subdivision, we're seeing emerging young talent, and it's wonderful. 13 for Cameron Lee Bernard on the pommel horse. A lot of these big teams are really in a period of change. Here's somebody who has looked so good on the international scene of late. Sofus Hegemsnes of Norway, the reigning Nordic all-around champion. He's also been a Nordic floor champion.
Two and a half twist to front layout full. All of his movements are very deliberate, and that includes the run into passes. His technique is so good that he doesn't have to break out into a full run. 1 or 2 steps will do often. Triple twist.
Sofus Hegemsnes of Norway. Gymnast who has really thrown so much praise at his first junior coach, because he said that his first coach recognised, in his words, Sofus's own words, that he wasn't talented but he loved to have fun, and it was through making gymnastics a thoroughly enjoyable experience that he became an exceptionally skilled athlete.
There can be a big difference between a gymnast when they are a boy, when they are an adolescent, and when they are a man. And gymnastics actually loses a lot of talented athletes when they're adolescents because it's very difficult for them. But when they come out the other side of that, they find that they're very strong, and with good coaching, they can really accomplish a lot. And that's what's happened with him.
12.666 was the score for Felipe Almeida on the horizontal bar. Finland are now at the vaulting table. And a slightly tricky landing for Elias Koski. .633 is his score. 22-year-old from beautiful Helsinki. He's been an all-around Nordic champion, and he is the all-around Nordic champion.
Still having fun, we see.
Yeah, he's a great entertainer, isn't he, Sofus Hegemsnes?
Often just as entertaining to watch in the kiss and cry as he is on the mat.
France are now competing on pommel horse. Julien Saleur, 30-year-old, very experienced gymnast, and this usually one of his most dependable pieces of apparatus.
He is an all-around gymnast, the veteran of this French team by quite a ways. But yes, you're right. Pommel horse is his exceptionally good apparatus. Deploying the flares to great effect. Magyar Shavado traveling down one end of the horse and then back the other way. And a beautiful pirouetting dismount.
Well, isn't that nice from Julien Saleur, the man from Bourges in the centre of the country. Part of the team that performed well at the Mediterranean Games. He's got nice flare work, high hips, powerful gymnastics.
His clearance above the horse is very, very good. That's the height of the hips. And throughout the routine, even as he gets more and more fatigued, he doesn't let his hips dip. That's something that will contribute to what I dare say will be a very nice score.
Like so many French sports people, he loves to play and watch rugby and football. 13.333 for Sofus Hegemsnes. Well, it's a very entertaining subdivision so far. We're seeing some gymnasts that we don't know so well at international level. We're about to see one that we know very well at international level. This is the Lithuanian Robert Tvorogal.
Actually makes 3 rather small errors that will chip away at his execution score a bit on the opening movements. That too, every time you walk in a handstand or let your legs bend, you're going to lose 1/10 of a point, and that is perhaps the result of these small errors compounding themselves. He never looked settled from the first movement that he did.
And this is a gymnast who won a bronze medal on this apparatus at the European Championships in 2020.
Yeah, he was supposed to go through the handstand and then re-grasp the bar. His shoulder's way too far over, and he comes off. Dismount, uprise, double front tuck.
Robert Tvorogal of Lithuania, European champion on the horizontal bar in 2020. Moment of true history for Lithuanian gymnastics when he won that title and this medal, the first ever at the European Championships for Lithuania. due to only perform on those two pieces in this competition. Now, what's the score going to be for Julien Saleur? Next will be Benjamin Osberger. He's had the great pleasure of competing at lovely events like the Paris World Cup. Always has one of the most enthusiastic crowds in all of gymnastics. 13.5 is his score. He'll have a rest now because he's not due to compete on the rings. Benjamin Osberger next to go. He made the pommel horse final at the Baku World Cup earlier this year.
And at that competition, just as on floor exercise, he was very, very eye-catching on this event. That move where he spins around and regrafts the pommels, known as a sewn. Oh, very nice. Seems to take his time, doesn't he?
That really is well put, Blythe. I'm not sure quite how it is, but he seems to have longer in the air than anyone else, but there's just something deceptive about his gymnastics. You've said it many times on commentary that when gymnastics is done well, it has a beguilingly effortless quality. He's got that, hasn't he?
In spades.
He's from very close to the German border in the Strasbourg area.
And when you look at the hand placement on the pommels, particularly on the one pommel work, you see how precise he has to be in order to make this routine work. And this worked very well.
Benjamin Osberger of France. Never competed at a junior or senior European or World Championships until today. Well done. Good start. This will bring us to the 1/3 mark of this subdivision. Once the score is in, we can give you a sense of how it's all looking. Oh, that's a very tidy number, 14.366. Second strongest that we've seen so far on the apparatus. Just the veteran Philippe Houdet performing better than him. Not quite so positive, regrettably, for Robert Tvoregal, 11.366 on the parallel bars. Difficulty in execution, almost the same number. So now we move around. The Dutch go to the parallel bars. Romania will be on floor. Turkey on the horizontal bar. And we'll have Belgium on the still rings. Should also mention in this, excuse me for forgetting, Austria will be vaulting, and we'll have on the pommel horse Sweden. There's a lot to keep tabs on in this very packed subdivision of 12 teams. And we've got all of that to come again in a little while. The third subdivision, is going to contain the teams from Hungary and Great Britain, Italy and the host nation, Germany, Azerbaijan and Spain, Greece and Switzerland, Ukraine and Cyprus. There'll also be gymnasts from Armenia, but not going for team glory, and gymnasts from Serbia. Now we are with Austria. Just working through their vault warm-ups at the moment. Important to state as we look over the shoulder of Riccardo Rudi that a score can be discarded from each rotation in team qualification. And those of you who are new to the complexities of the gymnastics scoring process, the easiest way to remember it is your team can absorb a score you never can as a gymnast. Individually, all your numbers count. Your team in qualification can lose a number, but no individual ever gets to discard one. Razvan Denismark of Romania is their first gymnast to go on floor. He's 20, from the west of Romania in Arad. This is his second Senior European Championships. He made the rings final in 2020.
Romania, another team that is powered by a mostly young contingent. Andrei Muntean, the 29-year-old, being the exception. Reacts quite calmly to his feet sliding as he lands the front double pike to begin. Oh, and lack of amplitude on the front somersault after the front layout double twist. Another complicated twisting pass, 2.5 to front layout full. And triple twist to end.
Razvan Denismark of Romania made his World Cup debut earlier this year in Varna. One of these young Romanian gymnasts we're starting to see a little more of.
That was a great save. Note the lack of height on the second flip. A tenuous routine in some ways, but he did a great job of minimizing the execution deductions that he will take for this.
And just to let you know that Turkey are the best performing team at the moment in this subdivision, and their two scores so far on vault and parallel bars, as we'll come back to that. Here's Riccardo Rudi of Austria.
A large step on the landing of this full twisting Kasamatsu, but it looked very nice in the air.
He's the reigning national champion on the vault. Gentleman based in Innsbruck. He scores 13.833. Student of architecture. Well, as I was saying earlier, the scores posted by Turkey in their first two rotations, the two highest rotation scores we've seen from any team so far. 12.833 for Razvan Denismark. And we're back with Austria again on vault.
Same vault as we just saw from Ricardo Rudy. The Kasamatsu with the full twist, or Sukahara double full from Alexander Benda.
Certainly one of the more well-known internationally of the Austrian team when it comes to their all-arounders. 25-year-old wants a career in the medical profession after he finishes his time as an elite athlete. Like a lot of the Austrian athletes, he's training with the army as what's informally called a sports soldier. But Turkey have been the team so far. We expected that to be the case. But can they keep it going on the horizontal bar? There have been problems for Turkey in team competitions on the horizontal bar before.
You're exactly right, Ollie. This is one of the events that they are less well known for being really consistent on. Opening up on vault and then going to parallel bars, they literally went from strength to strength. But this will be a good indicator of where they are and potentially what they're capable of. So far, so good for Arajan. Full twisting double layout.
Important performance from Ferhat Arajan of Turkey. Big rotation this for the Turkish team in team qualification.
Quite a tall man, Arajan, so he has to modify his technique sometimes for an event like horizontal bar, but he has got it down. Went into that full twisting double layout very well. Great landing.
William Sundell of Sweden on the pommel horse. Real pommel horse specialist is William Sundell. He made his senior international debut at the Osijek World Challenge Cup last year. Very nearly made the pommel horse final this year. It's an important performance from Sundell for the Swedish team. 13.4 top 10 score on pommel horse that so far. Nice tidy gymnastics from Billy Sundell. On the subject of nice tidy gymnastics, we've seen it so far from this gentleman, Adam Asil, the all-around top performer so far. And a horizontal bar bronze medalist at the European Championships last year. Oh, goodness me. Adam Asil has got to recover fast.
It was the Takemoto. No problem with the Kachevs.
Not too many problems with the dismount either, but in the centre of the routine, a costly deduction. His reaction is indicative of that. He knows. Adam Asil of Turkey. Now, what we have to say is the score of 13.133 comes in for Ferhat Aruzhan, is it could have been worse.
It definitely could have been worse. However, this is still quite significant. You have the leg separation, you have the loss of difficulty value for the elements not continuing in the intended direction. These are all deductions that add up. And so he's not going to get anywhere near the score that he was capable of. How much that's going to be detrimental to Turkey and even detrimental to his own all-around chances is still to be determined.
Once again, 13.133 for Ferhat Aruzhan. Yes, for Turkey as a team, they'll come back another day because they can discard a score, and this is only qualification. But for him, for the all-around, that's a 12.633, and it is not quite in keeping with his very good work on the vault and parallel bars. Now this is Noah Kurvita of Belgium. First chance we've had to look at him in this final.
And Jonasson to a roll to support. And a really significant bend in his body. Never quite controls that handstand before the full twisting double tuck.
He's had bad injury troubles of late. Right after the World Championships last year, tore his right Achilles. He's done very well to be back here.
Yes, he has. He is one of the best in the continent, on horizontal bar, and hopefully we will have a chance to see that routine later.
Yes, few things are as fun in life as a Noah Kurvita horizontal bar dismount.
Exactly.
If you've seen it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But great that he's back, the 23-year-old. Now to Ahmet Under of Turkey on the horizontal bar.
Cassina full twisting double layout over the bar. Right on at the Coleman. Same thing done in the tuck position. And now he has exhausted the Kovac style skills that he could do, so he goes over to the Kacheps. That is the skill that Adam Asil had significant problems on. No worries for Under today. Double twisting, double layout. Very nice routine from Ahmet Under.
In terms of the all-around standings, it might be a case of same flag, different gymnast, because Ahmet Under could have put himself into real leading contention with that display. That's good work.
For many years now, we have watched him quietly be one of the best gymnasts in Europe. But when it comes to winning the major individual title, he has often had problems somewhere that have hampered him.
I think there are so many people that would just be thrilled for him if he could do it. The number is clearly to their satisfaction. 14.233, top mark so far on the horizontal bar. Ahead of Sofus Hegemsnes, Ahmet Under in really with a very good prospect of making the horizontal bar final. He's somebody who'll be wanting to make that as well. Noah Kurvita. 12.266 on the still rings. Now we have the Romanian team continuing on floor.
fantastic flight on his opening line, double twisting, double tuck.
He's looked good so far, Gabriel Bertonetti.
Really a man who has air to spare when he tumbles.
Wir haben ja jetzt auch gerade schon zu zweit kurz drüber geredet, was die Rumänen am Boden angeht. Die haben recht solide Übungen hier gezeigt. Was sagst du?
Auf jeden Fall. Für München, da habe ich gehofft, ein bisschen mehr zu sehen, aber gut, mit so einer langen Verletzung, das ist auch schon gewesen. Es ist sehr, sehr schwer zurückzukommen.
Round off by handspring 2.5 twist into the front layout. And triple full to end.
Gabriel Bertonetti of Romania. Third performance from him in this all-around process.
There's obviously no shortage of tumbling talent with him. Where he could clean up a bit is on the landings. Everything that he did in that routine, he gave away 0.1 to 0.5 every time his feet hit.
13.1 is his score. And that's the halfway point of this rotation. And we are not too far away from the halfway point of this subdivision as well. Several more performances to come as the teams all switch. Looking over the shoulder of Marcelo Marques, medalist on floor at the Portuguese National Championships. Meanwhile, it is the Norwegian team that goes to the pommel horse and Jakob Karlsson.
High arch in the scissor to handstand. Did a nice job controlling that and pulling it back down. And unfortunately, because the dismount must cross the body of the horse, he loses 0.3 of a point off the top for the way that that skill was done, and also a bit more in execution for the struggle and the form break. That said, the interior of this routine, very steady and very clean.
Over at the vaulting table, it is the Georgian team, Ioane Gymnastics.
Clean and tidy, the Kasamatsu full twist. Keeps his legs together throughout, and just that small hop, 1/10 of a point perhaps 0.3 of a point.
14 is his score. Very interesting gentleman, Gymnastics. He's a super guitar player. Loves to upload covers of popular songs. Now on the still rings, the French team. And this is Paul de Guy, the reigning French all-around champion.
Nice job on his swing elements. An important combination that gets him bonus. Double front pike.
Good to see that display from Paul de Guy, the 25-year-old. He missed the Glasgow 2018 games with a biceps injury. It's meant a lot to him to be here, as Carlsen scores 11.3. So we head to what will hopefully be a return to form for Robert Tvoregal of Lithuania, the European champion on the horizontal bar in 2020.
He is known for his Kachev style skills and connecting them, and the way that he performs them, the amplitude is second to none. Watch his position as he catches the bar. So extended. And of that type of release skill, 3 is the maximum that he can do in a routine under the new rules. And if he does 3, 2 of them have to be connected. This is very good so far. Full twisting double layout.
Slightly tricky landing for Robert Tvoregal, but much of his work on the apparatus itself was tidy. And a little form break at the start, but once he got into those big releases, I mean, you said it, Blythe, the amplitude is sensational. His Kachevs are powerful.
Catches the bar fully extended. Look at the beautiful lines on his pirouettes.
Alongside Thomas Kuzmitskas, we just saw on the right of the screen, there he is, the well-travelled Lithuanian gymnast who's competed at so many World Cup competitions alongside Bobby Tvoregal. Tvoregal also won the European Games title on the horizontal bar in 2019 at the last European Games, the first ever Lithuanian medal in gymnastics there too. Paul de Gui's score is 13.2. And we'll talk about what that means for the French team in a short while.
Returning to Georgia on vault. Quite a simple full twisting Yurchenko from Bidzina Stichnava. Simple, but well performed.
Third European Championships for him. His score 13.233. Another of the Tbilisi-based gymnasts. He's done quite a few World Cups here and there, but this is a different sort of experience, the multi-sport atmosphere of the European Championships. .966. Robert Tvoregal with a good number. He comes in just behind Ahmed Hunder by less than 3/10. Another score that's in contention.
And given the dismount, there is potential for him to improve that.
Yeah, should he make the final. Guilherme Campos of Portugal, 21-year-old. This is a nice opportunity for us to see the reigning Portuguese floor champion. Huge congratulations to him on his securing of that title.
Very nice Arabian double front half out. And that, if I'm not mistaken, is a 3.5 twist, the first we've seen in this competition. Front double full to front layout.
He's a very well regarded member of the team, Guilherme Campos. Real sense of discipline, a team player, the sort of gymnast who keeps everyone else on the straight and narrow with his attitude in training. Carries that over into his undergraduate studies. He's a student of engineering and industrial management.
Two and a half to front layout. Looked like he might have stepped over the line with his left foot. If so, that would be 1/10 of a point penalty.
But from Guilherme Campos of Portugal, there's real promise. There's evidence of where this Portuguese team is going, and it's in the right direction.
Certainly, no question about it. This is a team that is on the rise. That was indeed a 3.5 twist. Blind landing. A tremendous amount of difficulty in this routine. Very well done.
Mentioned his undergraduate credentials. It's no surprise when a Portuguese gymnast is very well trained academically. They often seem to be some of the best at combining things worldwide. As we go to Elias Koski of Finland on the parallel bars. Fifth European Championships for Elias Koski. One of the gymnasts who's coached by the father of the Kermes brothers.
Beautiful form on everything, including that double pike dismount, just the step back. It's all you can reproach him for, really.
It's a well-trained gymnast, isn't he? His fundamentals are exacting.
Finland, both the men and the women right now, are so exciting to watch. They are posting some of the best results in their history. And you look at routines like this, you look at the execution, and you completely understand why.
We'll come back to that in a moment and return to the Portuguese team and José Nogueira. This is the man who dominated the national championships earlier this year.
Terrific looking double layout to open. Unfortunately, on the double front tuck, both of his feet go out of bounds, so that will be a 3/10 penalty. 2.5 twist. It's nice to see many of the men getting ever so slightly more creative with their floor choreography. Opted to do a Shushanova.
There's a certain crispness to José Nogueira as a gymnast. Easy to see why he is the reigning all-around Portuguese champion. His finish at the Mediterranean Games was just outside the top 10, the best ever for a Portuguese man. And we talked about the great academic background of some of his colleagues. He's also studying a degree in bioengineering. He's an impressive youngster.
Yes, the biomechanics of this floor routine, really good. The cliche is springs in the legs, but sometimes you see why it's a cliche.
Well, very often the great sporting cliches are born out of truth, and certainly the case there. Before that, Guilherme Campos, 13.3. And 13.4 for José Nogueira. just reversing, if you will, the result of the national championships when Campos was ahead of him and deprived him of the floor title. And as expected, that change has happened at the top of the leaderboard. It's still Turkey 1 and 2, but it's Under who's the top performer. Asil just ahead of where David Huddleston was at the halfway mark. Artem Dolgopi at 4th position, but he had some difficulties and didn't continue with the all-around competition. So the top 2 from Turkey, as we expected. Leo Saladino is also in the conversation. He's doing well. And that's interesting to see Dom Cunningham down there in 18th place, but we know that the second half of the competition for him was a particularly strong one. So he did make a move up even in his own subdivision and might well do so in this larger set of results which combines subdivisions 1 and 2. Just to give you a bit of texture on the Turkish performance, they kept the score of 12.633 for Adam Asil. Kerem Şener scored 11.966 on the horizontal bar. So for Turkey, a slightly mixed bag in terms of their horizontal bar results, but some very strong ones, and Ahmet Under's score was really significant. Now, Turkey will make their way to the floor, and Ahmet Under, the leader, can do a decent job on floor, can't he?
Very much so. It has been a clean and consistent event for him for years, but also Adam Asil, we saw what he's capable of on vault. He is capable of very similar things and similar greatness on floor.
So all of that means we haven't got a clue what to expect from those two gymnasts, but as we did expect, they are really leading the conversation. But it must be said that David Huddleston certainly part of that discussion at the moment. Now, what is worth bearing in mind with David Huddleston is that he did have one pretty problematic rotation on floor in the second half of his competition. So that will affect his score as we go on, or his position as we go on. So the Dutch are on the horizontal bar. Dutch people on the horizontal bar, that's worked out pretty well in the past. Jermaine Grunberg is the first to represent them.
Takamoto half. Well done. Winding up Kovac. Classic Kovac. First performed by the Hungarian Peter Kovac in 1979. Showing different ways to grip the bar. That is a requirement on this apparatus. Double twisting, double layout, wonderful landing.
That is some start for Jermaine Grunberg of the Netherlands on the horizontal bar. That's really lifted the squad. Excellent landing and a very nice Kovac, as you said, Vlad, the classical Kovac, the pure Kovac, if you will.
The way it was first done.
It's a lovely skill, isn't it, to watch the Kovac. It's one of those ones that always gets a reaction from the live crowd. So the Austrian team are competing on the parallel bar. This is Manuel Arnold. She's 22.
Kip handstand at the end and then a Tippelt. That's known as a Stutz. Moving very smoothly so far. double pike.
He was part of the Austrian team that finished 6th at the 2020 European Championships, albeit a different sort of championships with a slightly smaller field of teams. And he's hoping to help them to a top 13 berth and a World Championship spot in Liverpool in October.
There might be some questions about the body position of his dismount. He does bend his legs, and if the judges think that he does not define the pike position well enough, they could actually give him credit only for the double tuck.
A look out at the Olympiahalle as Manu Arnold helps Ricardo Rudi prep the apparatus. Vincent Herk is there as well, his work done, and done very well too. When you have a specialist in your team, there's so much pressure on them, isn't there, to deliver the big score, and he did that. This is Jordi Hagenaar for the Dutch, 19-year-old, bronze medalist on the horizontal bar at the National Championships in June.
Another very exciting young prospect. Great lift on the layout. Kachev shows a classic Kachev. Like we saw from Groenberg, gets a lot of his difficulty through the in-bar Stalder elements, but again, a double twisting, double layout. That too, classic Dutch high bar.
This youngster is full of potential and full of skill. The reigning all-around national champion. Very recently spoke of his joy at joining the 80-plus club in all-around scores. To give you an idea, David Huddleston, 79.864 was the top in the first subdivision. And that's a good number, almost 13.5 for Hagenaar. Now to the Belgians and Noah Kuavita.
Handspring double front, really nice and very nearly stuck. Excellent lift and block off the table, and he knows exactly what he needed to do to plant his feet into the floor.
Just one of those gymnasts, isn't he, Noah Kuavita, who finds an extraordinary burst of power when he needs it. 14.5 for him. Very well executed vault, that. Romania, as a team, have moved from floor to pommel horse. They will conclude on the vault, where they will be very hopeful because of having Gabriel Bertonette, junior European and world champion. That is very much not Richard's plateau. But a 13.2 score appears to be what's come through. We'll just wait to confirm that. That's more like it, 13.566. Score for Jordi Hagenaar on the horizontal bar. This could be a very important moment in his day. Adem Asil of Turkey. Problems on the horizontal bar after a great vault and a great parallel bars routine.
Front layout, full twist to front double pike. Like a javelin in the air. Front layout, double front tuck. And what a landing. Tiny deduction, 1/10 of a point. Round off back handspring, double twisting, double tuck. And that a bit of still rings brought to the floor exercise, the Maltese position. And that, if you want a bit of pommel horse, brought to the floor exercise. He has done a spectacular job of keeping things under control, and he has so much explosive power. Just the dismount, half in, half out. Beautiful routine.
That is a competition that is back on track for Adem Asil of Turkey. Team silver medalist at the European Championships in 2020, where injury disrupted further progress. Same problem at the 2021 European Championships. Had to withdraw from the all-around final after 2 rotations.
Tremendous power again. And equally impressive as the talent is the way that he is harnessing it, the way that he is controlling things.
No wonder he looks exhausted, especially with all that he's done recently gymnastically. But As van Dennis Mark is now to compete on the pommel horse. One of 3 20-year-olds in this Romanian team.
Punkte für Adem Asil. Zweitbeste Note am Boden für den Türken. 14.266 points. Nächstes Ausrufezeichen.
Young man who made his World Championship debut in 2019 in Stuttgart, As van Dennis Mark, pleased as punch about that performance.
In some ways, it's a rather conservative routine, and it's unlikely to get a huge difficulty score. However, execution-wise, he did that very well indeed. Solid.
Ahmet Under will be the next gymnast from Turkey to perform on floor. You could write a novel about his floor routines over the years. When they're good, they are absolutely spectacular. But at the European Championship, they haven't always gone quite as well, including at Glasgow in 2018. But he's a very different gymnast now. The leader so far in the all-around.
Same opening pass as we saw from Adem Asil. He does put 1 foot out of bounds, so 1/10 of a point penalty. But a calm 2.5 to front layout comes back with that. Double twisting, double tuck, beautifully delivered. We've seen him do that for years now, and he always does it like that. So far, it's been very good. Triple full. Very good indeed.
Ahmet Under, you are playing with our emotions all over the country of Turkey and through the gymnastics world, where he's so well regarded and so popular. People will be starting to believe and wonder, can he do it? Can he do it? He started well, very well.
Great variety of skills in this routine. There's the complicated twisting skills like the triple full that he ended with. There's also flipping skills, one of his middle passes, full twisting double tuck. Very difficult and very tiring to do late in a routine.
12.4 for Razvan Dennis Mark. Has him in 10th position thus far. Looking at average score as well. Whichever way you look at it, Turkey is scoring well. Whichever way you look at it, as we remind ourselves of the 14.266 for Adam Asil, Ahmed Under is going to be up there and is going to be really the gymnast to surpass going into the final third of this subdivision. .266 for Ahmed Under. And that puts him clearly ahead of Adam Asil by a mark and a half. With 1/3 of his competition to go. And then it's going to be, if it all continues to go well, a really long and unpleasant wait for Ahmed Under. We've got a full subdivision to come after this, with massive teams and real contenders. Don't know about you, but this is nerve-wracking stuff, even for us to sit and watch. Hope you're doing okay at home, enjoying this busy session of artistic gymnastics from Munich 2022. We're thrilled that you've chosen to spend your time with us. Hour upon hour of gymnastics in this packed Thursday, with the team final on Saturday and the apparatus finals on Sunday. You're warmly invited to watch both of those too. This is the second half of the fourth rotation. Portugal on the pommel horse with Guilherme Campos. Did win a medal on the pommel horse at the Portuguese Championships. He's got a bit of a fight on here. He's dropping very low, brushing the apparatus. He did fight, and maybe that there is a simple illustration of what is different about a lot of the Portuguese gymnasts coming through. They're saving these deductions, they're minimizing them, and they're fighting so hard to keep going.
It can be so hard to stay on in the Wendeschwing when the legs come apart. Every 360-degree turn that he completes with the legs apart is a new deduction. But opposite to your point, Ollie, you are absolutely right. This is a team with a lot of spitfire, a lot of fight.
"16 years of really hard work for Guilherme Campos to get to this stage now, the 21-year-old.
Julien Salaire of France. Oh, and quite lock-legged, frankly, on that landing. Doesn't seem to affect him, but gymnastics coaches and potentially some gymnasts cringing when they see that. However, the twist all the way around and evidently no problems.
14.066 for him. Yes. What's there to worry about, he says. I was absolutely fine.
Major jump.
Yes, it really did. It was... he made light of it, actually, didn't he? But as you say, it was quite a locked-looking landing. Finland's Oskar Kirmes about to perform on the horizontal bar. The 2019 Nordic all-around champion. It's becoming an increasingly competitive competition, that. He was actually born in Iceland, but he lives in Espoo, second largest city in Finland.
From an execution perspective, this is really nice so far. Beautiful extension on the tucked Kovac. He catches it perfectly. There's a real smoothness to what he does on high bar. Full twisting double layout, drops out of the sky.
What a likeable performance from Oskar Kirmes of Finland. From an execution standpoint, it was very strong.
This the big release skill, and completely extended as he catches the bar. He placed that exactly where it should have been.
He really did make that Kovac look good in the air, didn't he? A demonstration of real control. Now, meanwhile, the Norwegian team is on the still rings. We're looking at Sofus Hegemsnes. He won a silver medal at the Nordic Championships on this apparatus.
Small struggle in the handstand coming out of the front giant. Ideally, the rings would be completely stationary. Sometimes, though, gymnasts pick up a small amount of swing. Giant through to double twisting, double tuck. Great job.
He's such good value to watch as a gymnast, isn't he, Sofus Hegemsnes? Spent his whole life in Oslo, but he always calls himself a little American in his own words. His mother is from California, his father from Sweden.
To be able to pick up a bit of swing in the rings early in the routine and then be so strong in your upper body that you can actually stop that is remarkable. And that's what he did in this exercise.
Vaulting for France, it is Leo Saladino.
And vaulting really well for France is Leo Saladino. This a double twisting Kasamatsu.
14.6 the score. And you would expect a high quality vault from a gymnast like him. Made a junior world championship final.
He's going for the apparatus final, so this is his second vault. The Rocher.
Well, that was very nice, wasn't it?
Yes.
Named after the Cuban gymnast who originated the vault, the Roche.
Handspring double front. Very efficient in rotating the salto. Doesn't get a great amount of block, so not a tremendous amount of height. However, this was very good.
14.366. And that has put him at the top of vault qualification. Leo Saladino, very much in the discussion. Well done to him. He was 11th in vault qualification at his debut European Championships. What a transformation over the course of a year. 13.3 for Sophus Hegemsnes on the rings. Oscar Kirmes scores 12.866 on the horizontal bar.
Come on.
Gymnastics going for all-around qualification for the World Championships and indeed to build as strong a score as possible for the Finnish team. His teammates continue on the horizontal bar. Elias Koski is next to go.
Layout Kacha, his release skill. He'll do another. Classic straddle Kacha. Stalder and inverted elements. And a full twisting double layout.
Finland's Elias Koski. He's been getting closer and closer to finals on the World Cup circuit. Made his first European Championship final in Szczecin in Poland. That was in 2019. And what a jump up in Basel to 16th in the all-around competition in 2021. Now, what a proud moment for the Kuzmitskas family this is. 18-year-old Titus Kuzmitskas. He's making his senior international debut at these championships. Never competed internationally as a junior, really, in big competitions. But it's all right because he's got his big brother here to look after him in the team. Thomas probably will be more nervous than he's ever been at a competition with his 18-year-old brother here. 8 years between them, but now they are teammates. What a great story.
Opened up with a round off to double tuck and showed a Rudy, or front flip with 1.5 twists in the layout position. Smooth double twist. Round off layout side pass, likely a placeholder for something more difficult later on. And a 2.5 twist to end this routine. Plenty of room to grow, plenty of potential from this young gymnast.
Well, you said one of his tumbling passes might be a placeholder for more to come. He's unlikely to be only a placeholder in the Lithuanian team. I think he might well make a real established place for himself as the years go on. 18-year-old Titus Kuzmitskas. Next to go is his older brother. Great story, it really is. This is Jakob Karlsson on the still rings for Norway. The Nordic champion on this piece.
And you can see why right off the bat. Beautiful Maltese. Drops down into an iron cross. And once again, a roll to cross. It's a very good mixture of strength and swing in this set. Good control, and once again, just such beautiful toe point.
That's a very enjoyable routine from Jakob Carlsen of Norway, bringing that Nordic Championship winning routine to the European Championships and performing it so tidily.
And as we remarked about him earlier, there is a sense of effortlessness to all of the work that he does, including this full twisting, double layout dismount.
His score is 13.733. It's becoming clear that the Nordic Championships are really a competition to watch. Now, this is the elder Kuzmitskas, Thomas.
Second race of Drawings. Congratulations, Jakob. Super routine. Zweiter Platz. Anwendung. Vierter Platz.
Very precise and steady.
He's a great advocate of yoga. Thomas Kuzmitskas makes it a part of his training routine.
Double twist connecting pass. Something we might be seeing from his younger brother in a few years. Triple twist to end.
They're quite some family, aren't they, the Kuzmitskas lot? His father was a rugby player, his mother was a gymnast. The older brother, also a gymnast. I mean, this is a young man in Thomas Kuzmitskas who was the European Youth Olympic Festival floor champion in 2013. Almost a decade on, he's here with his younger brother at a European Championships.
And if you want some idea of what young Titus Kuzmitskas' routine is going to look like in a few years, there you go.
12.4 for Titus. Just looking over the shoulder there of Gitas Asariovas, another of the Lithuanian team. He's an 18-year-old as well. Thomas Kuzmitskas has been a floor champion at World Cup level. Very frequent finalist in the last few years. So once we have this score in, we'll be moving round to the fifth and penultimate rotation in Subdivision 2. 13.133. Just a more difficult routine, as you'd expect, than his younger brother. But a moment of pause, a moment of reflection. And to scrutinise Ahmed Under's lead. Still around a mark and a half, not much change. Leo Saladino, up he goes, ahead of David Huddleston. Huddleston was the leader, remember, after Subdivision 1 was over. He did have a strong finish, Huddleston. Important to point that out. And well done to the two youngsters from Netherlands, Jermaine Grunberg and Jordi Hagenaar. Elias Koski has also moved up. A couple of Nordic gymnasts in that top 10. Daniel Fox of Ireland in 11th place. Now, he was a top 3 gymnast at points in that first subdivision, so that gives you a sense of where we are in the second. Now, from a team standpoint, Turkey ahead of France and looking very good value to go ahead of Israel. Netherlands, who we were just seeing the names of their gymnasts a moment ago, they are just below France and Austria below Netherlands. But we're looking at a sort of couple of marks gap between most of these teams. Turkey 4 marks ahead of France. Just to once again state what may be the very obvious right now, this is qualification for everything except for the men's all-around competition, where it is the final, and we will be crowning a European champion at the end of the next subdivision. And it is the job of Ahmed Under now to make it impossible for anyone else to surpass him. And hasn't he started impressively? I say started, he's 2/3 of the way through now.
He has been very impressive all day. Pommel horse is going to be a question mark for the Turkish men, particularly for Adem Asil. Asil's fantastic on the rings, Under a little bit less so, but the situation is reversed on pommel horse. So this is going to be very interesting.
And we go back to Glasgow 2018, where the Turkish team campaign rather drifted away on pommel horse. Again, that's a long time ago. Jordi Hagenaar of the Netherlands will be the first to go for them on the floor exercise. He's from a village called Dirksland in the South Holland province. He's having a good all-around campaign so far.
This new generation of Dutch gymnasts proving to be solid and stylish. Very pleasant gymnastics to watch, and for their ages, quite a high component of difficulty.
Yes, it's the difficulty, isn't it, that has the room to grow. The execution is a trickier thing if it's not there at this age.
So true. Triple twist to end.
There is much to commend about Jordi Hagenaar's gymnastics. It's clear to see why he is the reigning all-around national champion.
Arabian double front half out, one of his opening passes. Yes, plenty of difficulty. You're right, still a bit of room to grow, but still, for where he is right now, certainly a very full routine. 2.5 to front layout.
And this is the first time he's done the all-around competition at the European Championships. He was in Basel last year, did only the pommel horse and the horizontal bar. That itself is a learning experience, doing the all-around at a major competition. Well, to the pommel horse and to Adem Asil, who, had it not been for a 12.633 on the horizontal bar, might well be in the lead. But he's only a mark and a half behind Ahmed Under. .033 for Jordi Hagenaar.
Let's go, Jermaine, come up.
All eyes very much, though, about to be on the Turkish gymnasts as they take to the pommel horse. Adem Asil, second place at this stage.
What he's doing right now is he's visualizing his routine.
Now we're looking at Jermaine Grunberg, another gymnast who's impressive, and who's impressed, I should say, so far today.
Very tidy double front tuck. Slightly wild on the 1.5 to punch front full. And you note that he clips his heels together after landing that round-off double full side pass. That is very important for the men. They can land with their legs apart, and that goes on high bar or parallel bars dismounts as well. But they don't get a deduction as long as they bring their heels together. Same thing on floor exercise.
Did seem to drift out at the end there, Jermaine Grunberg.
Yes, for the dismount, 1/10 of a point penalty for putting his foot outside the white line.
He's ever so disciplined, Grunberg. He's talked about how from the outside his days look pretty boring. He says he doesn't find them boring. He agrees with the sacrifices he needs to make to be an elite athlete. Adam Asil on the pommel horse. Ahmed Under just walked behind him, but it's Under who's very much in the foreground of our thoughts. Adam Asil is very much a part of the all-around medal race.
It is never going to be his best event, pommel horse. But in a competition like this, under pressure like he's under, to do a routine like that, that is very, very good and very promising.
13.3. He has still rings to come next. An Olympic finalist on the still rings. We should just say that Kerem Şener, the first to go for Turkey, scored 10.9. 12.833 for Grunberg. Now the leader, Ahmed Under. The all-around pace setter.
Scissor to handstand, the sewn, one pommel work.
He's close. He's very close.
Difficult travels in Wendeschwing and then Wendeschwing at the end. Here we go.
He was close, but he's okay. Ahmed Under of Turkey on the pommel horse. That may just be, yes, exactly. Forget whatever words we were going to use. That reaction is what we were trying to sum up, essentially. Wasn't it, Blythe?
Sometimes there are no words, and it's just that.
He just gulped for a moment, didn't he?
Perfectly said. Even for the very best, pommel horse can be an event that bucks you off unexpectedly. And you talked so eloquently about the Turkish team and how much they've competed lately. He's smiling, but he must be very fatigued.
He's having a chat with Mehmet Kursak, who we haven't had the chance to see yet. He'll be more involved, particularly when the still rings comes along. This is Alexander Bender for Austria on the horizontal bar. He's the reigning national champion, so a nice chance to look at the routine which took him to the title.
Big skills. The Coleman, the Kovac tuck for the full twist. And that, the classic Kovac, as we've seen several times today. Layout Kachev. Straddle Kachev. Hop full to hop 1.5. So many interesting variations of high-level skills. Dismount, full twisting, double layout, beautiful landing.
That's how you win a national title, with a performance like that. One of a dozen that he's won. Imagine 12 times or so a national champion. I think he might even have won more than that when you factor in the most recent. Lovely, stylish and elegant display.
Good for him, and it's good for the team. When you consider what Austria's goals are, they will take this score and they will be very happy with it.
Well, if you're going to make a World Championship berth, you need your national champions to deliver on the pieces where they excelled domestically. So far for Austria, that seems to be happening. If they make 13th place, they will dance out of the building, won't they?
Oh yes, they will.
And just to explain why that's so significant for those of you who are perhaps newer to watching gymnastics at World Championship level, you get a team to the World Championships, you get a full squad going. Suddenly you've got several gymnasts, and that doesn't just give you team options, it gives you all around and apparatus options. Lose that privilege, come in 14th, you could find you've only got one gymnast going to the World Championships. 13.366 is his score, and we saw regrettably that happen to the Swiss women at the Women's European Championships last week. Just one qualifier. 13.5 for Ahmed Under, that will do very nicely. 2/10 more than Adam Asil, and he'll need that little cushion with Asil's potential on rings.
Yes, he will.
It seems likely now that he will be the man to beat for the last subdivision. Well done to him. Meanwhile, we're enjoying all of these young prospects coming through from the Netherlands. How happy the late Mitch Fenner would be to see these fine young athletes coming through. Great coach, one of the greatest gymnastics commentators of all time, and a gentleman who sadly passed away just before the Olympic Games in Rio, when the Dutch team really began their ascendancy.
Their goal was to qualify for the 2016 Olympics as a team, as you said, Ollie, and they brought in Mitch Fenner about 3 years before to try to get them to the level where they would qualify a team, and lo and behold, they did. It is something of a tragedy that Mitch did not get to see them perform at that Games.
He is revered in the Netherlands, it's fair to say.
Yes. The team, of course, dedicated their performance in Rio to his memory.
So we are in the second half of the penultimate rotation. Portugal are on the still rings. Norway vaulting. They have in Harald Vibjerg, Norway, the Nordic champion on vault. They've also got Jakob Carlsen, Youth Olympic Games medalist on vault. So potential for some decent numbers for the Norwegians there, one hopes. The warm-up draws to a close. Time is now. Important that we keep up to speed with some of these promising all-arounders, such as Oscar Kirmes. 51.499 coming into his penultimate performance. Like his younger brother, like a lot of people in Finland, very good ice hockey player.
Slight stumble on the landing of that second tumbling pass. Looks like he did go out of bounds. And walking in the press handstand. That will certainly be a couple of tenths of execution. That's a shame. For a gymnast at this level, generally that's preventable. He may be quite tired at this point in the competition.
And that might be evidence of it for Oscar Kirmes. Again, we remind ourselves that the Finnish gymnasts were competing at the Nordic Championships last month. It's that busy time of the year, isn't it?
It is. And when you've already done so many rotations and then you're asked to go to floor exercise, which can be one of the most tiring routines to do, 75 seconds where it just does not stop. And you're trying to breathe.
It's really unfortunate for Oscar Kirmes. A lot of very good work going on in Espoo in Finland at his club. On the subject of good work, we've seen a lot from Sofus Hegemsnes so far today. He does get real flight on vaults.
Amplitude. And from not much of a run, we remarked on floor exercise, he's so powerful and he's got such good technique that he doesn't need to have a huge buildup into a vault like this. Kasamatsu 1.5, plenty of time in the air, throws out his arms to go for a good landing. And just the hop, really.
He has something in common with a very good British vaulter, Courtney Tulloch, which is a background in football where he used to celebrate by doing cartwheels. And it was because of that that the parent of another player said, you might want to give this lad a chance in gymnastics. It's not quite the Alice dance, but the Sofus shuffle is pretty memorable. 14.5 for Sofus Hegemsnes. He just makes you enjoy gymnastics even more, doesn't he? Everything about him. 11.566 for Oscar Kirmes. Not as he was hoping for, sadly. Elias Koski is the next gymnast to go.
Whip to perfectly stuck, 2.5 twist. Front layout to front double full. Double tuck, hops around, including out of bounds. Not sure if that was with one or both feet. difficulty-wise, this is not as hard as many of the routines that we have seen today. But what he's really doing is maximizing his potential on this event right now. Everything has been very clean, very precise too, just like that triple twist to end.
Finished as it started, didn't it, for Elias Koski of Finland.
Rather unique pass. Does get him some connection bonus. Whip to 2.5 twist. And does a nice job of just finding the ground and sticking that.
Now here's a name that's just come out of nowhere in the all-around competition. Leo Saladino, 20-year-old from southeast France on the French Riviera.
Many of France's best gymnasts have come from the Riviera. It's an excellent training center near the beach in Antibes. Oh, and that's a wonderful move. Great connection of pirouetting skills.
He is from Grasse on the Riviera, the perfume capital of the world, and it's the sweet smell of success at the moment for Leo Saladino of France. You talked about the training centre by the beach. It can sometimes be hard to get him off the beach because he loves to be there, as everyone does in the French Riviera, but he's so disciplined and determined to be a great gymnast.
And he is well on his way.
Followed his sister into the sports. See it, don't you, in gymnastics so often? So many men inspired by their elder sisters to take up gymnastics, as Koski scores 13.2. He's also a very good footballer and basketball player, Leo Saladino. .866 is his number. Just one to go for him, the horizontal bar. Harald Vibia of Norway, the Nordic vault champion.
The Norwegians just continuing to do very graceful, clean gymnastics. Kasamatsu with a full twist and not that much to deduct from it, execution-wise.
He did so well at the World Championships in Kitakyushu. He was 29th in qualification, one place away from a reserve spot for the all-around final. It shows just the direction that the Norwegian team is heading. We'll go back to France and the parallel bars. Paul Degree, their all-around national champion, 25-year-old.
He's a very experienced gymnast who spent many years on the national team. Moving through this exercise really well. Double pike dismount.
Thrilled with it too, wasn't he, Paul Degree? Good display.
He should be thrilled with this. Strong from the beginning to the end. A good blend of swinging skills and pirouetting skills. There's the Tippelt.
He's taken something of an unorthodox route as a gymnast, spent some time training in Australia, away from the National Training Centre a couple of years ago. He's also a qualified architect. Well, it's always a privilege to have the chance to watch the Kirmes family in action. This is Robert now, 22, a younger by 4 years than his brother.
And lots of elegance, just like his brother.
He was so sad to miss out on the Junior European Championships in Glasgow with a back injury. Here he is at senior level.
Beauty and lightness to his work. Taking full advantage of the code of points in the twisting skills. But just as proficient, obviously, in the salto skills, the double salto, Arabian style. And finally, triple full. Very nice routine.
He's got very good memories of this country, Robert Kirmes. He spent his first senior year in the Bundesliga in the German club system, and this is another good memory for him, this performance.
Handspring 2.5. The Randy.
Paul de Guy scored 14.066. Seventh best score on the apparatus. He's cheering on Cameron Lee Bernard. Finland have got the ace up their sleeve on floor to come. 13.2 for Elias Koski. We also need to give you the number for Robert Kirmes. We'll come back to that because we now have the man who was so sensational at the World Championships in Kitakyushu, Emil Soravua, bronze medalist.
A medal that was won due to his difficulty, yes, but also due to his extraordinary execution, and we got a taste of that on his first pass, which is stuck cold. This is a routine that has it all. Mounds of difficulty, but also extension, fluidity, rhythm. Beautiful landings, too. Round off triple full. Bang.
That's going to get very close to the leading floor scores, almost certainly. Emil Soravua. And he does it with wonderful execution. 14.133, the fourth best score on floor, and just over a tenth behind the top performer, Ahmed Under. The floor qualification picture is looking fascinating, you know. 4 gymnasts, all just over a tenth apart. The plot thickens as Ahmed Under is leading the way with a decent margin over Adam Asil of Turkey of over a mark and a half. Leo Saladino of France, brilliant display from him to be third at the moment. Sofus Hegemsnes of Norway fourth, and the top 5 rounded out by Jermaine Grunberg of the Netherlands. David Huddleston in 10th place. That's the gymnast who won the first subdivision. Don Cunningham, the gymnast who was second, is in 14th position. So a sense of the developing numbers as we go through, with one whole subdivision still to come. I hope you weren't planning on doing anything else for the rest of the day, because we've got a few more hours of gymnastics to bring you.
sind gespannt, wie das Ergebnis denn auch nach dem 6. ausschaut.
As for the team situation, Turkey ahead of France by over 2.5 marks, and looking as though they're going to quite easily surpass Israel. French also will be expecting to do that. The Dutch will be hopeful, but it might be close. They ultimately head to Pommelhorse. And Adam Asil is on the still rings, where he can do spectacular stuff, as Turkey does as a nation on the still rings. They don't have Ibrahim Çolak here, but they do have Mehmet Kursak deputising for him. But let us just remain for a moment with some of these youngsters from the Dutch ranks.
And you made such a good point earlier, Ollie, when you talked about Austria and what they are trying to accomplish in qualifying a full team. And what we're seeing here with the Dutch are the fruits of qualifying a full team to a major event. You talked about 2016 and Mitch Fenner, and who were adolescents watching that Dutch team perform in 2016? Well, it's these guys.
This is Jordi Hagenaar on the Pommelhorse. He's been very impressive today, Jordi Hagenaar, as he brings to a close his all-around final. But one suspects we'll see a lot more of him in the near and distant future.
For France, Qual.
As though he's picked up a knock of some description, just having that worked on. At least now he can pause. Now that's Van Dennis Mark vaulting for Romania.
Smooth start for the Romanians on one of their better events. We talk about the Dutch on high bar. Well, you have the equivalent in the Romanians on vault. Kasamatsu with a full twist. A good start indeed. Not the hardest that we will see from them.
And a score of 14 for Ras Van Dennis Mark. A rest day tomorrow for all of the senior gymnasts. Team final on Saturday, apparatus final Sunday. 11.566 for Hagenaar. Not a huge degree of difficulty, but again, there is ample time for that to increase. Here is Jermaine Grunberg, bronze medalist at the National Championships. Oh.
Steps down off of the pommel with one hand on his scissor to handstand. Overcooked it, quite enthusiastic as a beginning. And he'll lose 0.3 of a point for doing that. But as we say often, better to take a small deduction than to take a fall. Good job controlling the rest of the routine.
Yes, it really was from Jermaine Grunberg. Young man who absolutely adores association football. He's a supporter of Willem II in Tilburg.
When a mistake like that happens early in the routine, so often the heart just goes straight into the throat. And his expression, oh, okay, got through that one.
Hoping for a World Championship team place. The Dutch, as Romania continue their work at the vaulting table. That was a little unsteady on the landing from Andrei Muntean.
Rather uncharacteristic of the Romanians to miss a landing like that. He has under-rotated the twist on the Casamatsu 1.5, lands with his shoulders back, has to step back to save it. 0.3 of a point for each step, most likely.
The score, 13.933 for Andrei Muntean. Crowd steadily starting to increase as they anticipate the host nation being involved in the final subdivision, and we anticipate eagerly the performance of Adem Asil of Turkey on the still rings. Olympic finalist in Tokyo on this piece, where he was also 15th in the all-around competition. He's also just won the Islamic Solidarity Games rings title. Correction to that, it's Ahmed Under that we're looking at. I jumped ahead in the order.
Smoothly through his Jonathan Yamawaki combination, dropping that into an iron cross. He's exerting so much effort in these handstands to control everything. You can almost see his upper body trembling with the effort. Double twisting, double tuck, small step. Very, very nice routine to cap off what has been a great competition for Ahmed Under.
Ahmed Under of Turkey is going to be the person that everyone focuses on going into this final subdivision. His score is likely to be the one to beat, unless Adem Asil can produce something absolutely extraordinary on the still rings. But what a display from Ahmed Under. Well, he's done brilliantly, hasn't he, Blythe? Across the board, where there could have been issues on pommel horse, there were none. On floor, he was absolutely solid. Is it going to be his moment? 11.866 for Jermaine Grunberg. Well, there's always time to enjoy Noah Kuavita on the horizontal bar. If you've never seen his dismount, get ready. Hope it all goes well for him.
And before the dismount, there is plenty to enjoy also, beginning with that layout Kachev. Here we go. Layout Kovac. Tucked Kovac. Practically scraped the ceiling. Kachev. Oh, and wonderful right to handstand on the Takemoto full. So far, this is wonderful. And some of the best yet to come.
I tell you what, he does get the crowd going, doesn't he? Noah Kuavita. Outrageous, the triple pike to dismount. That is a wonderful display from the Belgian. How joyous it is to see him back from injury.
And doing such good gymnastics.
How will it be from a horizontal bar qualification point of view? 14.066. Second best we've seen on the apparatus.
And you talk about a crowd-pleasing routine. The routine that has everything.
Now, I've already listed his accomplishments on still rings because I got myself muddled in the order, but it's worth doing again because it's Adam Assil. He is an Olympic finalist on the still rings, and he has the potential for a big score here. The reigning Islamic Solidarity Games champion.
Difficulty and execution. Difficulty and execution. Those Maltese elements, there are only a few gymnasts in the world that can do them, and even fewer that do them looking like that. There's just total control in this exercise. He is in charge.
Isn't he just? Turkish team delighted. He should be delighted. It's been a very good day for Adam Assil. And it means almost certainly that Turkey are going to be the gymnasts to beat for everyone else in the all-around competition. And what does that say about where Turkish gymnastics is heading? And this is not a spectacular story, improbable. This has come from consistent, brilliant hard work. 14.933. They've been doing the right things in Turkey for a long time to get to this point. It's not come out of nowhere.
Adam Assil's gymnastics was utterly transformed when he went to Turkey. He emerged about a year after he began training with the Turkish men, and honestly, his routines, his style, it was unrecognizable the way that it had evolved.
13.933 for Ahmet Under. And what that means is that although Assil has narrowed the gap, Under is still over half a mark ahead and will stay ahead of Assil because that's the end of their all-around competitions. Now let's take a moment to catch up with some of the other action, and this is Romania over at the vaulting table. Gabriel Bertonette brings his competition to a close, the junior world champion on vault.
Tremendous capacity for twisting. This is the Kasamatsu double twist. We've seen so many 1.5s. This is the double, half a twist more and much more difficult.
14.833. And very much in the conversation when you look at vault qualification is Gabriel Bertonette.
And of course, it's a Dragulescu. Handspring double front, half turn before he lands.
14.633. And therefore, that will mean that with a score of 14.733, he's the best we've seen so far at the vaulting table. Junior European champion in 2020. Is he coming of age here in Munich? Well, the gymnasts from Turkey are going to be in the very unusual situation now, and it is quite extraordinary, of being really among the favourites to take high places, if not the gold, in the all-round competition, but they're going to be sitting and watching whilst everyone else competes. Now, meanwhile, Austria are on the floor, and we are looking at Alexander Bender.
Just like horizontal bar floor exercise, a really good apparatus for Benda.
nicht die absolute Schwierigkeit mit drin, aber das macht auch einen guten Mehrkämpfer aus. Er ist ausgeglichen an jedem Gerät.
He has the capacity for high difficulty on this event, particularly in the twisting skills. Round off triple full, something a lot of gymnasts end with. Finally chooses to close out the routine with a 2.5 twist.
That is the end of Alexander Bender's involvement in Austria's bid for a team place at the World Championships. Let's have a look back at the finest moments.
This was the end, the 2.5 twist. Very nice way to cap off this exercise.
13.5 is his score.
Another good number for Benda and for Austria.
Yes, easily their strongest mark on floor. Manuel Arnold, 12.833. Ashkab Matiev, 12.7. Those are the scores they're going to count upon.
Austria, as we said before, had the goal of finishing 13th, and they set that goal for both the men's and the women's teams. The women surpassed it. They finished 11th. They qualified a team to the World Championship, so extra motivation for the men.
France now on the horizontal bar. This will be their last set of performances in team qualification. Cameron Lee Bernard of France. European Championship debutant. Talks about the great work that goes on at his club. He is effectively the captain there.
His first release, layout Kachev. Second, regular Kachev. Steady lead-off routine for the French. Full twisting double layout.
Cameron Lee Bernard gets France off to a secure start on the horizontal bar. Just caught a glimpse of Leo Saladino, who's been the standout performer for the French.
Stalder Rybalko. Intricate element. Always the potential that the gymnast will swing the wrong way or won't have enough kick.
Now Portugal are concluding their competition over on vault. It starts solidly for José Nogueira. He's the reigning national champion on vault.
Just such clean work. Extended body position.
13.9 is his score.
Regardless of where they finish in the team competition, the Portuguese should give themselves a really big pat on the back. They have been terrific all day.
Some good youngsters coming through for France, but you do really need your experienced hands in the team as well. As Bernard scores 12.366. It's over now to Julien Saleur. He's also a coach of women's artistic gymnastics.
Takamoto with the full twist. Questionable whether he landed near the 12 or 1 o'clock position in the handstand. Could be a slight execution deduction. Clean Stalders. Yamawaki. Once again, full twisting double layout.
And once again, solid from France. Crisp gymnastics from Julien Salaire. Just get the feeling, don't you? It means a great deal to him to be here.
Absolutely. And there's real experience infused throughout this routine. He knows what he needs to do to minimize the execution deductions, to perform cleanly, and that's exactly what he did.
Elias Koski is about to take the pommel horse. And he completes his campaign for the Finnish team. A Finnish team who have looked very tightly knit, very secure, and much like their female counterparts, very impressive.
And one reason why is that over the last several years, partly thanks to gymnasts like Elias Koski and the Kiermes brothers, the level of difficulty has risen considerably.
Another team where their big specialist delivered in Emile Soravois. Salaire scores 12.866. Over on the parallel bars, we catch up with Sofus Hegemsnes of Norway. Silver medalist at the Nordic Championships.
Oh, really nice, the tip belt into the Healy. Doesn't rush anything. That's exactly what you need when you are doing skills of this caliber on parallel bars.
Sofus Hegemsnes of Norway, the reigning Nordic all-around champion, has brought some very strong all-around form to the European setting.
Impressive throughout the day, really, and continues to be on this apparatus. Highlight of this routine, full twisting double back somersault. We do not see that often.
These smaller competitions are really important, as the score of 13.233 is in for Elias Koski, because Hegemsnes won the all-around at the Northern European Championships. He went on to win the all-around at the Nordic Championships. He's come to the European Championships looking about 10 feet taller than he did before those experiences. These regional competitions matter hugely. They're where it all begins. Now it is Robert Kirmes of Finland on the pommel horse.
A small break of the shoulders and the elbows midway through the routine, but he gets it right back on. Handstand pirouette, dismount. Not quite what he was hoping to do, but the interior was very good. He'll take it.
Robert Kirmes of Finland. Final performance for him in this team qualification process. He was actually born in Älvsborg in Sweden, just across the Gulf of Bothnia from Finland. And he spent so much time in this country as well, in Germany, training and competing. It almost as, well, I was going to say a second home, but he has about 5 different homes as Robert Kirmes. Look at that atmosphere in the Norwegian team. 13.666 for Sofus Hegemsnes on the parallel bars. Top 20 score on the parallel bars, but of greater importance to the team and indeed to his all-around prospects. This is somebody with great all-around prospects, Leo Saladino of France.
Begins with the 2 Takamoto elements. Winding at Tuck Kovac. One-arm giant. And several of the Stalder type skills. Really immense shoulder flexibility needed to do those. Clean so far. Double twisting, double layout. Hello.
Take a bow, Leo Saladino of France. This has been a wonderful performance in the all-around competition. This young man, this 20-year-old, has announced himself as a serious member of the French team. And how? Haven't they done well? Big team still to come. But France likely to be sitting in second place at the conclusion of this subdivision, and with 10 teams to come, that would mean a World Championship berth secured. All of that said in a very quiet voice, because these things aren't official until much later, but 13.266 is the score for Robert Kirmes. There is a good atmosphere. 13.833, the score for Paul de Guy. And just to let you know that Paul de Guy is in 4th place in horizontal bar qualification. Isn't that interesting? The picture is starting to become clearer and clearer now. So we're waiting, being able to give you the final standings at the conclusion of this subdivision, his subdivision. He's the man of the moment. He might be the man of the championships. Others have got to step up and beat him now. Ahmed Under. It's been a highly proficient all-around display from him. It's been the all-around display that we've wanted to see for years and years and years, and he's just put it all together. And it may look just like a clicking of the fingers, but it hasn't been. It's been years in the making, and he's worked for it. Now let's start with the men's floor exercise qualification standings. Just look at the gap between first and fourth in qualification numbers. Not very much at all. Many still to come, of course. Anxious wait really for Dom Cunningham and those below to see if they can squeak into that floor final. As for the pommel horse, well, it is Laurent de Monk of Netherlands quietly and effectively going into the lead over Filip Ude of Croatia. Did you see that one coming? Brilliant from him. Young Benjamin Osberger in third place. The rings, it's Adam Asil country ahead of Vincent Herk, and that's where the daylight really is after the top two. Men's vault is at the moment under the grip of Gabriel Bertanete. Some very strong vaulters are still to come in the final subdivision. The parallel bars, there's a surprise. Ferhat Arajan leading the way over Ahmed Under, Olympic medalist and World Championship medalist. Bit of a gap between second and third. Last but by no means least, Ahmed Under, top performer in horizontal bar qualification ahead of Noah Quavita, the only two gymnasts to go 14 plus.